What's up, YouTube? Silver Dragons here, and today we are going head to head with two of the most popular bullion coins in the entire world. Which is better for investing, the American Gold Eagle or the American Silver Eagle? Let's get into it. Buy your gold and silver online from SD Bullion. New customers get gold or silver at spot by visiting sdbullion.com/new. Thank you so much for watching. I do sincerely appreciate it. Now, in this video, we're going to look at the pros and cons when it comes to investing in the two flagship products from the US Mint. This bullion coin on my left here, the American Gold Eagle, is the most popular gold bullion coin in the world right now, and the Silver Eagle is the most popular silver bullion coin in the world right now. So this is going to be a great comparison. Let's first get these out of their capsules. All right, there is the gold and there is the silver. So let's first talk about some of the similarities between these two coins here. So the US Mint started making both of them in 1986, and in 2021 they actually refreshed the images. So there is a Type 1 and a Type 2 for both the silver and the gold eagles. Now they're called eagles because on the reverse you actually have an eagle. Let's go ahead and take a look at the refreshed images. Now these are referred to as Type 2 gold eagles and Type 2 silver eagles respectively. Now, other than just changing the image, they actually added a security feature to both coins. This is something new that the US Mint has never done before. And you can see here it is a notch taken out of the edge of the coin. This is the infamous missing read, or the cutting edge technology. It does change locations every single year. So 2021, 2022, etc. They all have different locations on the coin of the missing read. So that is one way to keep counterfeiters on their toes. They don't know if it's going to be at the top, on the side, on the bottom. So this was a nice addition, and it makes the coins just a little bit more secure and a little bit more easy to verify that they are real and authentic. Now let's talk about some of the differences. The American Silver Eagle only comes in one size, that is the 1 ounce version, and this is pure silver, or 3/9 fine silver. That's the only way you can get these coins here. Now the American Gold Eagles actually come in 4 different sizes. I have a few of the fractional ones here to show you. We have the 1/10 ounce and the 1/4 ounce. It also comes in a 1/2 ounce size, and of course the 1 ounce size. And another thing about the American Gold Eagles, these are not pure gold. These are in fact 22 carats. They are an alloy. They contain gold, silver, and copper. I'll put the breakdown here on the screen so you can see for yourself. So these coins actually weigh slightly more than 1 ounce, but they do contain a full ounce of gold. Let me show you the weights. You can see I have my scale set to troy ounces, or OZT. That's the abbreviation there. All precious metals should be weighed in troy ounces. So we'll start with the Silver Eagle. You can see it weighs exactly 1 troy ounce. And something I found is that the older ones typically weigh a little bit more because the technology wasn't as good when they're making the coins. Look at that, 1.02. So a little bit of free silver in the older one. Then let's look at the American Gold Eagle, and this one is going to be 1.09. So again, there's a full ounce of gold in here, but there's also copper and silver added, so that's why it's a little bit heavier. Let's actually look at the older Gold Eagle. I'm curious if this one is heavier than the new one. No, they are the same. So there you go. I guess they cared a little bit more about adding extra gold because gold is worth so much more than silver right now. One other difference that I wanted to bring up is that the Gold Eagles are considerably smaller than the Silver Eagles because gold is so much more dense than silver. I mean, I just showed you the gold coin weighs more, but it does have a significantly smaller diameter. So if you want to store the maximum amount of wealth in a small small space, then gold is definitely the way to go. In fact, let's compare how many silver eagles it would take to actually match the value of one gold eagle. All right, that's 20 there. Here's another 20 and another 20. One last stack of 20, but we're actually not done yet. I gotta add 5 more silver eagles to the pile. So there you go. That is the difference right now. 87 silver eagles to 1 gold eagle. And this ratio is changing all the time, and you do have to factor in premiums when you're looking at physical coins. But right now, about 87 silver eagles have the same value as 1 gold eagle. So there you go. If you're trying to store the maximum amount of wealth in a small space, then gold is definitely the way to go. And if you're worried about having to grab your metals and run, it's certainly going to be a lot easier to carry this one coin than this big stack of coins right here. Another con when it comes to the silver eagles is that silver will tarnish over time if it is not stored properly. So if your silver is exposed to the air, it will actually turn dark because of some of the sulfur in the air. So you do have to take good care of your silver eagles. You got to protect them. When it comes to gold, gold never tarnishes. You can bury it underground. You can put it in the water. You can pretty much do whatever you want to it. It's always going to look like beautiful gold. Of course, the discoloration can be avoided if you store your coins properly, like in one of these waterproof, airtight stacker vault containers. But that is something else you do have to worry about when it comes to silver. But I would say probably one of the biggest pros when it comes to stacking the silver eagles is the price. Silver is so much cheaper than gold right now, and not a lot of people have $3,500 extra to shell out for an American gold eagle. So if you do want to stack something from the US Mint, something that's very popular, something that's very recognizable around the world, and you can't afford the gold eagles, the silver eagles are a great option. That is the first thing I started stacking between the two, and I have no regrets. I mean, ultimately, I'm glad that I bought both gold and silver eagles. I think if you can have both, that is probably the best case, but if you can't afford the gold, definitely silver is a great option. If you can afford to stack the gold eagles, I highly recommend it. And for those of you who are a little bit later in your years, maybe you've already retired or you are nearing retirement, gold is less volatile than silver. So this is a little bit safer of a bet. If you do need to sell your gold for whatever reason, you are less likely to have to sell it on a big dip because, again, gold doesn't move as much as silver. It's been moving up in a steady line for the last few years. Silver is more up and down, but generally it does move faster than gold. So I would say if you're younger and you can stomach the bigger swings that silver has, silver can be a better option because you could see more appreciation in your silver as opposed to your gold, just because, again, of the volatility. So that's something you're going to have to weigh for yourself when you're deciding between the two metals. If I was forced to pick a winner, it would definitely have to be the American Gold Eagles. However, I will say this, both the Gold Eagles and the Silver Eagles will generally fetch a premium when you sell them back to either an online bullion dealer or at a local coin shop. So they are both very liquid, very desirable pieces, and you really could not go wrong with stacking either one of these. Now, I did a poll on my YouTube channel asking all of you which one you would prefer between the American Gold Eagle and the American Silver Eagle. Big thanks to everyone who voted, about 12,000 votes, but the Gold Eagle won by a pretty large margin, 64% to only 36% for the American Silver Eagle. However, if we look at some of the top comments, the first one here from Wise Man, he says, whatever I can afford. That seems reasonable to me. And the second one from Terry, silver all the way. I don't want to be rich, just survive till the Lord calls my name. My riches are from above. I love that. And the last one from Marvin, only the big boys can afford gold at $3,400 to $3,500 a pop. Silver is the poor man's gold. So it seems like the majority want gold, but maybe can only afford silver. And with the prices going up, this is probably going to continue to be the case. But for everyone here watching, let's get the conversation started once again down below in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next one. Silver Dragons out.